welcome to our first 2021 edition of the Soul Indulgence Show. I'm your host, Lauren, and I just want to start by wishing you a Happy New Year. I know that we have collectively been waiting for this year to get here, and we did it. We made it. So I want to start today by talking about something that is really juicy, really meaty, really deep, and really pervasive. And it is this. I want to help you awaken your innate magnetism so that you can attract the desires on your heart. And there's a couple steps to this, but the absolute foundational piece of this is belief. And this is a two-parter. So one part is actually belief in the universe. It's belief in the science of what is coming out of the field of quantum mechanics that teaches us that we actually are all connected. We're all made of energy. This air even, right, that we think is like empty space is just energy vibrating, energy in our bodies. Our bodies are such a teeny infinitesimal amount of mass. The rest of us, all energy. We are all connected. This has been proven now. And so whether you have a spiritual base to back this, right, or you're just a science-minded person, and we now have this quantum physics to prove it, we are all connected. And I need you to understand that that is actually the foundation. So if we're all connected, then we're all made of the same stuff. And if we can look at someone else and say, oh, that person deserves to have their desires met, or that person is magnetic and their desires are attracted to them, if we're capable of seeing that in anybody else, then it's also true in us. So it's almost like it's either or, right? Either we're all worthy of our desires being met, or none of us is worthy for our desires being met. And I don't think that anyone who is watching this video or anyone who is in my circle thinks that we're all unworthy. Like, I just don't think that, I think there's very, very few people who are in such a dark place that is their truth, right? But that is not the absolute truth. The absolute truth is that we are all connected and that each of us has our own unique capacity, our own unique contribution to the world, our own unique desires. So this first pillar of belief is part belief in the universe, belief that we are all connected, belief that we all are made of energy, and it is part belief in ourselves and our own self-worth. And the more and more that I do this work and the more and more people that I talk to, I know that self-worth is the foundational missing link for so many of us. Even me, I had spent years as a therapist and I had spent years in therapy, and I was, thought that I was doing pretty good with my self-confidence and my self-worth. And I met this psychic and we were talking about my backstory with, getting my degree and how much money I had invested in myself. But I didn't use that language. I said, I'm so in debt. And she said, oh, it's a self-worth thing. And I thought, what? It's not a self-worth thing. I've done plenty, work on myself in that way. And she said, well, when you have a debt story, it's always related to self-worth. Otherwise, it would be a story of investment. It would be a story of loving yourself. And that was a foundational shifting point for me to realize, gosh, I thought I'd come so far, but maybe there yet gets to be so much more, right? So this first piece of believing that we're worthy is so important. If we could do that, right? If we could all believe that we were worthy of our desires, like, my mind is blown thinking about the possibilities that will happen when that world is actualized, when everyone knows that the thing that they want, the thing that they long for, whether that's relationship and love, whether that's meaningful, purposeful work in the world, whether that's friends and community, living in the right place, when everyone realizes that the things that they actually want, they're worthy of, then we're free to go for those things. And in a world where we all are going for those things that we want, that's a world that's uplifted. That's a world that is healing. That is a world that is raising its vibration. My friends, that is a world that is possible. And it gets to start with all of us. It gets to start with us individually, recognizing the ways in which we are telling ourselves that we have been programmed to tell ourselves that we are unworthy. So, the second part of this is unleashing your desires. So once you know that you are worthy, or know that you are on the worthy track, getting yourself to a place of being worthy and knowing that you're worthy, and you can put that in the comments if you're on the worthy track. Once we find that, then we get to unleash our desires. And this part is just about, what do you want? And so often it fascinates me, because this happens for me and this happens for people that I talk to as well. When we ask someone, or we're asked, what do you want? Sometimes that's a revolutionary question. Sometimes we spend so much time thinking about what we have to do and what other people want from us, and what's fallen through the cracks that we need to find and fix, that we're not actually thinking about what it is that we want. And when we're not thinking about what we want, we're not connecting ourselves to that future thing. And going back to this, quantum physics piece, that we are all connected. We're all connected as humans. We're all connected as animals. We're also all connected to all of the things, right? We are actually energetically connected to our desires. So if we are not clear about what our desires are, then it's hard, practically impossible to go for them, right? It's just reminding me of an Alice in Wonderland quote, right? About, I think it's the Cheshire Cat asks Alice, well, where are you trying to go? And she says, I don't know. And he says, it's hard to get anywhere if you don't know where you're going. So it's, what do you want? And a lot of people come to me and they say, well, how do I know that what I want is the thing that I really want, or it's just something that I want because I've been programmed to want that? And so we get to get deeper with that. And you get to ask yourself, do I want this for me, or do I want this because I want my family to be okay? Or do I want this because my mom really needs to know that I'm successful? Or do we want this because I want to, teach this to my kids? Or do I want this because I just feel unworthy and I'm looking for society to validate me? And sometimes there will be those things, and we can then tease out, well, do you really want it, right? And you can just always come back to this question and ask yourself, what do I want? Why do I want it? Okay, once that's clear, go back. Well, what do you really want? And it's so magnificent, the unfolding that can happen, because we get to just unravel again and again, going deeper and deeper into what your real desires are. And this is, once you know that the universe supports you, that we are all connected, that your desires are unique on your heart because you are meant to follow them. They're not the desires of your partner or your kids or your parents or your friends, right? They are the desires for you, right? They are put there for a reason, and you wouldn't have those desires on your heart if they weren't a possibility for you. So once you know that you are worthy, you know what your desires are, then we get to move into this really innate part of us where we have body wisdom that tells us if we're in alignment or we're not. And if we're in alignment, then we are going to feel different than when we aren't. When we are in alignment, we are going to feel energized. We are going to feel uplifted. We may even feel like an expansionness in our chest, or like a leaning in, like saying yes and opening out to. And when we are not in alignment, we are going to feel closed and heavy and tense and frictiony and churny, right? I had a client tell me it felt like bees in her stomach, right? Like, not a situation that we really want. So you get to use your body wisdom. I was talking to someone yesterday who was telling me this story about a house that she wanted to buy. And she wanted to buy this new house because she thought, well, we need more space, we need more property. but there was just stuff about the house that just wasn't right. She had little kids and she was going to be in a separate wing from her kids, and it just felt not right for her. And they were about to put the offer on the house, and she just felt so anxious. She felt so tight and tense, and thank goodness she finally realized this is not right. We can't do it. Because sometimes in our heads we think, well, this adds up. Boop, boop, boop. And we try to be formulaic about it, right? Let me know if give me a heck yes, Lauren, if you know what I'm talking about here. Like, when we're in this place where we're just so formulaic, living our lives, like, well, I need to have this, and I need to have this, and I need to have this, so A plus B plus C should equal happiness, right? Right? Except it doesn't, right? Because there's no space there to actually live your life, right? To actually have openness and to actually be able to listen to your body because your body is going to tell you, I'm a hard yes for this, and I'm a hard pass on that. So thankfully, this person with the house, they realized, okay, I am not meant for this house, even if it looks great on paper, even if it hits all these things that I was looking for on paper. It's not right for my body. My body is telling me very clearly. And I don't know about you, but if you've ever gone against that body wisdom, I have so many times, and never has it panned out. The first time that I did it, I was in a relationship with someone I never wanted to be in a relationship with. I didn't even find them attractive. And they said, oh, this is my girlfriend, Lauren. And I thought, oh, shit, am I their girlfriend now? Like, inside I felt anger. I felt like, how dare you? But outside, I said nothing because I didn't want to hurt their feelings. And I thought, well, maybe I could grow into this. Maybe this would be a thing for me. And it wasn't. And 2 years later, 2 years of my life, that I spent just so angry and frustrated until I finally woke up and got out. But that wasn't the end, right? I did that again and again. I did that with so many jobs where I just took a job because I felt like I was supposed to take it. And then I was supposed to like it, and I was supposed to be grateful because they were paying me, even though they were grossly underpaying me. I still felt that, one of my stories, that I tell frequently is that I worked at Amazon, and everyone around me said, yay, Lauren, good job, you did it, and really now I know, like, that's code for, like, ooh, you proved to yourself that you're worthy by these external markers because you got a good job, and it's going to be good pay, and you're going to be okay. Right? And really from that place of the people that will love us, they just are like, oh, you're going to be okay. Right? That's what we want. But inside my soul wasn't okay. I hated my job. I hated going to work. Oh, I felt so much anxiety and heaviness and tension all the time. While I was at work, when I wasn't at work, I always felt like I was supposed to be doing something that I wasn't doing, or I hadn't, figured it out right. And that is not a way to live. Like, when you're in that place, you're just tense and heavy, and not only is it awful for me and awful for the people that are close to me, I show up more snappy, I'm more judgy, I'm more grumpy, but I'm also depriving the world, right? When I am not acting in alignment, when I am not following the desires of my heart, when I am not believing that I'm innately worthy, I'm also depriving the world of me, right? And when the reverse is true, when I'm acting in alignment, when I'm continually checking in with myself to know what the desires are on my heart and to make sure that I'm following them and I'm acting with inspired action as opposed to effort, right? So it's this idea that, like, I'm not saying that we just sit here, blissed out and like our desires magically appear, although, maybe that is possible in some situations. I'm just saying that when you take action because it's the thing that you feel like you have to do or you should do, or it marks some boxes, or just, it's going to feel like effort. It's going to feel like blah, and it's not in alignment. And you still will do action, right? Action is important. That's part of being human, right? That's our bodies. We're alive. We want to move. We want to do. We want to yearn for. We want to travel. And You get to take action when you're inspired to do it, right? Then you know. That's when we say like, oh, it doesn't even feel like work, right? Because it's the things that you are specifically called to do. So the last part, which is my favorite, is about cultivating a love affair with the universe. So when we talk about potential, right, and this one version of life where we're restricted and we're doing what we feel like we're supposed to do, and all the shoulds and all the heaviness and blah 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 blah. The converse of that, right, is tapping into openness, is tapping into freedom, is tapping into this life, right, that really brings us into the power of our essence. It really brings us deep, meaningful purpose and pleasure and fun and play, all of these things. And, right, there is unknowns there, right? You can pick the path that is well traveled and is the path that you cognitively know is going to bring you safety and security. Or you can pick the path that lights you up, right? And for some people, both happen, right? They can pick a path that lights them up that also brings them safety and security. But what I see again and again is people choosing either or. And so many people feel like they have to choose the security path, the thing that they've been told is guaranteed to bring them security, and they put their heart on the side. Now, I'm here to tell you that that is not the only way. You can choose your heart. And when you choose your heart and you choose your desires, you are choosing the unknown a little, right? We sacrifice the known security, the known good, right, for the unknown great, right? The unknown potential, right? The unknown, like, huge, expansive, open breath, right? And in order to get in touch with this, in order to feel free to pursue things that are not this established way that we've been taught is the only way to success, we need to get in touch with this almost like mutual relationship with the universe. And the way that I've been conceptualizing this is about your having butterflies. When we start a new relationship, we feel butterflies, even in friendships, right? This can be romantic relationships, this can be friendships. I hear my kid crying in the background. I'm like, I don't think that it actually happened, when my babies were born, but I think it happens when I meet little kids that I don't know, right? It's like, are you going to be my friend? What's going to happen, right? And there's this sense of butterflies. And when we are in that place of butterflies, when we're in a place of like, I just lost my job and I don't know what's going to happen yet or next, we can feel like, oh, this is an awful feeling and I don't want to be here at all. Please get me security. Please get me that old partner back. Please get me any job. I'm desperate. Any job. But that's actually not the normal human condition, right? As alive beings, certainty is very rare, right? What's more common is uncertainty. Right? I mean, look at 2020, right? We had just delivered, like, who predicted a pandemic, right? Like, who predicted, like, all of the insanity of the year? Actually what people predicted was like 2020, like, we're coming out of our shells, we're going to move into our amazingness, this is our year. And the world said, no, it's not happening as you planned. Because certainty isn't a given. But in our society, we're wired and trained to think that certainty is the only thing that brings us security. And so if we don't have certainty, oftentimes what I hear from people is that, oh no, we have uncertainty and that's scary and that's fearful. And yes, I know that all of that is true because it's different and it's new. But if we can tap into what that feels like, is actually like that butterfly feeling. When we can when we can tap into the butterfly feeling with the universe of like, okay, I don't know what's going to happen. Like, universe, we're all connected. I have desires planted on my heart for a reason. I am inspired to follow them. What's going to happen? Right? And we can tap into like, oh, well, I don't know. That is fundamentally transformational. Even if none of the circumstances of your life change, but your attitude changes to befriend the butterflies, to befriend that feeling of uncertainty, of mystery, that allows you to be open. And when you are open, that's what allows you to build new neural pathways, because you are not just habitually doing the same thing over and over. So the butterflies, they allow you to be curious. They allow you to see opportunity where you might not have seen them otherwise. They allow you to grow. So that's my hope for you today. Befriend the butterflies. Sending you love. Thanks for joining me today. Shoot me a message if this resonates with you. Shoot me a message if you have any other topics you want me to address or any lingering questions. I love to hear from you. Bye.